Yes, and Officer Swasey's family has received this past week has been overwhelming, and it's been greatly, greatly appreciated. I've been honored to meet many of Garrett's outside family members this past week, and your love and admiration for Garrett is absolutely apparent to me. It's been a joy to meet and spend time with you. Also, on behalf of the Swasey family and our department, I'd like to thank and recognize the officers and deputies from the Colorado Springs Police Department and the El Paso County Sheriff's Office who responded to the scene and were injured in line of duty. Our sincerest gratitude is extended to each of you. I also want to personally thank all members of the UCCS Department of Public Safety, to include our police officers, our communications team, civilian employees. You're an incredible group of individuals. Chief Pete Carey with Colorado Springs Police Department, Sheriff Bill Elder, El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Chief Vince Niskey, Colorado Springs Police Department, Chief Deputy Todd Evans, El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Commander Tish Olszewski, Colorado Springs Police Department, my friend, Lieutenant Greg Maxwell, El Paso County Sheriff's Office, Sergeant Olaf Cheney, Colorado Springs Police Department, Sergeant Daniel Haley, Colorado State Patrol, members of the Colorado Springs Fire Department, and members of AMR, American Medical Response. University Advancement Executive Director Tom Hutton, and Vice Chancellor for Administration and Finance Susan Spurka, and our Chancellor Pamela Shockley-Zalabak. Governor Hickenlooper, Senator Bennett, thank you for coming to honor Garrett. The U.S. Honor Flag is here as well. Having just traveled from the Dallas, Texas area, the U.S. Honor Flag has honored thousands of fallen police officers, firefighters, first responders, and those serving on active combat duty in the military, and we're honored by its presence. I'd be remiss to, if I didn't mention and thank the members of our media for the tremendous job that they did while reporting this event and keeping our community safe. There are some who view the presence of a police force as an impediment to their individual rights. But in a crisis, when somebody calls 911, there isn't a single person who doesn't welcome and who doesn't appreciate the sight of officers arriving on the scene. This sentiment was shared with us last week by citizens and business owners who were caught in the crossfire, but protected by law enforcement. The strength of what we believe is measured by how much we are willing to suffer for those beliefs. Last Friday, Officer Garrett Swasey believed innocent lives were at risk when he heard of an active shooter, and he was willing to suffer for those beliefs. A quote from Edmund Burke reads, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Garrett was a good man and did not allow that evil to go unanswered. By now, you're all aware of the circumstances that led to Garrett's death, but I prefer to share with you the purpose of his life. Garrett demonstrated his strong Christian faith, both in his words and actions. His priorities were defined by his faith: God first, family second, and work somewhere after that. Many of us, including me, make the mistake of letting our job define us. That wasn't Garrett. While he loved being a law enforcement officer, it was simply what he did, not who he was. Officer Swasey served with distinction for our department for 6 years. And like those in this room, he served with professionalism, dedication, and compassion. I was Garrett's background investigator. I learned a lot about him during his hiring phase with us, and quickly became known to me that Garrett was mature beyond his years. I also learned that as many of his friends and family that are gathered here today already knew, he was very intelligent and very competitive individual. If there was something Garrett didn't know, he would literally go home and research every aspect of it until he fully comprehended it, then he'd return, sometimes to our dismay, to share every aspect of what he learned. Then there was the famous, "Hey Chief, you got a minute?" That was a ploy. You see, this is where Garrett came into our offices under the guise of just discussing an idea or a project he was working on that would easily turn into 30, 60-minute work sessions. Even when we would start working on other things, he would simply keep discussing things with you and not blink an eye. I think Garrett may have memorized this quote from Sir Winston Churchill. If you have an important point to make, don't try and be subtle or clever. Use a pile driver. Hit the point once, come back and hit it again, then hit it a third time. Personally, I always thought Garrett would make a great attorney. He had an excellent ability to debate. And trust me, he debated. Any one of our officers would tell you that Garrett would continue to debate until you saw the merit of his argument. Some would tell you that he was stubborn. In fact, let's just be honest, all my officers would say that he was stubborn. But they would also tell you that he cared about them professionally, and more importantly, he cared about them personally. People were intrigued with Officer Swasey. He would engage them in philosophical conversations. He exuded kindness, honesty, and humility. And he had a smile that would light up the room or diffuse a situation. He used this to his advantage. I remember him using the "come on, really?" ruse in his best Bostonian accent, and wave of his hand and head gesture on more than one occasion, which had a natural way of making others feel at ease. Could break the tension, make you laugh, or he called you to the carpet. Either way, it worked for him. My staff and I have been sharing our memories of Garrett since his death last week. As you can imagine, many of them brought us to tears, but just as many made us laugh. Sergeant Lisa Dibzinski thought of Garrett as a brother. She enjoyed the heartfelt conversations and appreciated that Garrett, while steadfast in his faith, he never was judgmental. She respected him as an officer because he was meticulous in his work. He was spot on when it came to policy and procedures, and was passionate about keeping new officers safe while helping them become successful. Lisa also said that Garrett was a Patriots fan, while his son Elijah and the rest of the department, well, most of them, I won't mention my Cowboys, were loyal to the Denver Broncos. Lisa herself was a Lions fan, despite their dismal record. She would take such teasing and taunting from Garrett, but was intent on getting revenge. One day she brought a photo of Tom Brady, and my apologies if I make anybody upset here, he was crying like a baby. Without missing a beat, somehow, somewhere, Garrett found a video of a Spanish speaker, a man with the dubbed over English voice, laughing and saying how the Lions are so bad. They never even made it to the Super Bowl. To this day, Lisa has no idea where he found it. Officer Craig Ginter, remember Garrett as a man of great character, someone who was spiritual and inspirational. Garrett was encouraging, helpful, and supportive to Craig as he went through the police academy. He recalled Garrett as a hands-on instructor who had a passion for whatever he taught. Garrett's willingness to help others came naturally to him. He was truly genuine. One of our police officers' fathers was recently hospitalized just before Thanksgiving, and his dad's health deteriorated quickly. So quickly that doctors had to do emergency surgery. When Garrett learned what was going on, he told the officer, "I'll pick up where you left off. Got your work covered. Just go take care of your dad." Detective Martin Tates and Garrett worked so well together that they had one of those unique cop connections where they knew and trusted each other's instincts. When there was a call, no words had to be spoken, and they intuitively knew what each would be doing. Someone, everybody in this room who's an officer gets. We all develop those types of relationships. Detective Tates also laughed out loud when he remembered UCCS receiving some new patrol cars. And I got to explain this one. Our friends at CSPD will probably understand a little bit better than most of our colleagues in this audience. You see, our department transitioned from Toyota Priuses to Toyota Highlanders, then to Ford Interceptors. Detective Tates said when the new Interceptor came in, he and Garrett grabbed the keys, took it for a ride. Now, trust me when I say I'll conduct an investigation on this when I get back to the office. But for now, I believe Martin's exact words were, "We went from 0 to oh, shh." Out of respect, I won't. Thank you. Garrett's in the line of duty death has not just affected us at UCCS. He was known and respected for his commitment to his church and his volunteer work in the community. On Wednesdays, a few of my officers would meet for breakfast at Sheldon's, which is a small restaurant near the campus. The waitstaff knew him so well this past week, and after expressing their condolences to the officers, made the comment, we even knew what he always ordered. Well, Garrett's death has touched us deeply and has impacted and changed his family's life forever. Garrett was proud of his family. He loved talking about his wife, Rachel, and his children, Faith and Elijah. He was overjoyed when he told us about his vacation to Disney, where Faith got to have tea with the princess. He felt responsible for making sure Elijah would grow up to be a kind and caring young man. He watched the movie Slingshot with Elijah because he liked the moral of the story and the values that were highlighted within it. Rachel, as you and your family continue to find the strength to begin to pick up the pieces and move forward with your lives, I want you to know, you're not alone. You will always have a wonderful and devoted family of blue who will remember Garrett's ultimate sacrifice. Your husband, your father, your son was a man of honor and integrity, something you can proudly reflect on every day of your life. I'm humbled by the faith and trust that Garrett placed in me as his chief. Rest in peace, my friend.
Thanks, Chief, for thanking everybody I wanted to thank. Now I got to figure out what to talk about. Garrett and I were friends for over 25 years. We worked here together at the Plaza of the Rockies. They used to have a skating rink. It's gone now, but I have fond memories of those days. I was a security guard, and that's how our friendship began. He's a great guy, a wonderful man. Our lives came in, we crossed paths here and there, family things, careers, whatever. So we would kind of come in and out of each other's lives. But it was the strangest thing how our lives crossed. And today I'd like to celebrate the memory of Garrett with all of you. He had a great sense of humor. And I'm going to try to bring some of that joy to you all today by sharing some stories. Not only were we friends, we also played music together. I played the drums, he played the guitar. He liked this band called Dream Theater, and they just play this crazy music, like all kinds of notes, just and I'm playing the drums, and I'm like, I can't play that because I'm not that good. And I said, Garrett, can we please play like Jesse's Girl or something like that? And what the funny thing is, he couldn't go dun 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 dun. He couldn't do that. It had to be. So, anyways, we didn't work out as a band. Garrett was born in Boston. And he grew up in Melrose, Massachusetts. Never heard of it, sorry. But Boston, he was Boston strong. And thank God that he came to Colorado Springs and became Colorado Springs strong. And last Friday, he showed us that strength and his devotion to his community. He was proud to be a police officer for the city of Colorado Springs, the campus of UCCS. Garrett would want you to know, and something I was looking over some YouTube videos, and I came across, I wanted to see like the skating stuff, the hair flying around, and the moves that he did. They were pretty amazing. But I